gentlemen, there's an important lesson to be learned from this young lady's video, and it's why I'm actually glad she chose to post it. It's a lesson we all need to pay attention to and take to heart. Because if we don't, we could end up losing our reputation, our freedom, perhaps even our very lives. As you saw in the video, the woman stated a belief that virtually all of today's modern women have. A belief that's been drilled into them quite literally from birth. So much so that I now truly believe it's becoming embedded in their DNA. And that belief is that it's all men till it's no men. The belief that feminism has pushed for decades now. The one that says that men are inherently dangerous simply because they're men. Not by anything they do, not by anything they say, but simply because they were born male. And women, well, of course, women are always the victim because they're women. And again, that mindset isn't a new one. It's been around for decades. But it really took off a few years back when they started their whole Me Too movement. And that is why women such as this one make videos like this, hoping to spread their belief, the belief that they hold so dear, to as many women as they possibly can. The goal being to create fear in them, to create a mindset that they are in danger from men 24/7, 365. And thus should, as they often say, always assume a man is bad because, hey, you never know. And they do this all while claiming it's not fair when you point out that the very same thing can be said of women. When you point out that any and every woman is a risk to man. It speaks to their double standards and the hypocrisy they live by, the hypocrisy that defines them and how they view men. It speaks to their mindset. The mindset that this woman displayed, where she showed she believes that real allegations of SA or worse aren't taken seriously, even though they are. They think that way because they've been told time and again by other women, their mothers, their grandmothers, school teachers, college professors, all of them, that men who commit heinous crimes are never held accountable, never have to worry about allegations affecting them. Now, to be fair, yes, there are some men that commit these crimes and get away with them. And relatively speaking, it's more than it should ever be, which is zero. But contrary to what she and other women believe and are saying, it's not all men, not even remotely close. In fact, it's a very, very, very small percentage of men. But you see, that reality doesn't fit their narrative, the one that feminism promotes because they want women to live in constant fear of men. It's the one they refuse to talk about, refuse to acknowledge, because the reality is that individual women have hundreds, if not thousands of encounters with men each and every day, and nothing happens to them. It's not just one day, it's every day. But you see, they don't want women to think about that. Don't want them to realize that. Instead, they want them laser focused on the relatively few times that bad things unfortunately do happen. Again, all to promote that fear. And because of that rationality, or more precisely irrationality, they also believe that it's okay to make false allegations against men because, well, it doesn't have any effect on the men. Let that sink in for a moment. This woman, and I'd argue most of today's women, believe that it's perfectly fine, justified even, to make things up, to make false claims and allegations against men because, in their mind, it's the right thing to do. Better 1,000 completely innocent men go to prison than one guilty one go free. That is the mindset virtually all of today's modern women were raised under and thus believe. Which is why, especially now, since the Me Too movement emboldened them and encouraged them to make these claims, false allegations are so rampant, to the point they occur by the millions every single year. They occur in family court, where mothers allege things to get an upper hand in a divorce, otherwise known as the silver bullet. They occur in the corporate world, where women make claims of harassment and worse to get ahead, to get promotions and raises. They occur in dating and relationships, where women make assumptions about men based on how attractive or rich they think he is or isn't. And they occur throughout all of society, where women make claims of harassment against men for doing the most innocent of things, like saying hello or maybe even sometimes not doing things. It's become a power trip to them, something to make themselves feel strong and independent. And to many of them, like the woman in the video, it makes it perfectly okay to make a false allegation, because to them, it's payback against men. All men. All because of a very, very small percentage, as in well under 1%, who sadly do commit heinous crimes. Let's be clear, gentlemen, and I cannot stress this enough. These women, especially ones like the young lady in this video, who have these beliefs, who run around spreading them, are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. To you, to me, to any man they come in contact with. Even men they randomly encounter in the street or, say, in a store. Because they will always, always assume the worst. They will always twist and turn things in their mind to paint the man as abusive, controlling, manipulative, and worse. And they will act on those assumptions. It's not an if, but a when that women like this will make a false allegation. Sometimes many of them. Because they also believe they are in the right and that it's okay to do so because it really doesn't affect him, doesn't hurt him in any way. They always believe they are justified in what they're doing, and thus have no problem concocting complete fairy tales, ones that they embed in themselves so deeply that to them it becomes the truth, which then makes their claims quite believable. They also know that to a woman, if they get caught, if their lies, innuendos, and falsehoods get found out, nothing is going to happen, nothing at all. Because unlike the woman in the video, it's actually the person making the false allegation, the woman making the false allegation, that has no worries about it impacting her life in any way. If anything, when she gets caught, she'll be considered a hero, saluted for taking a stand for the sisterhood, even though it was all fiction, all a complete and utter lie. These women have no empathy for men, no compassion, no caring, which is why they believe that the false allegations are no big deal. It's why they don't care that his being arrested now becomes part of the permanent record and will show up every time a background check or Google search is done on him. It's why they don't see it as a problem that his name, his reputation, and that of his wife and kids are forever smeared, even though he was completely innocent. It's why they laugh when you mention that he'll likely lose his job and not be able to get hired anywhere else, because even when he's been proven innocent beyond a doubt, the aforementioned background check is going to show that he was arrested, and companies just aren't willing to take a chance. These women don't care that the man will spend days, weeks, perhaps even months in jail waiting on the investigation to be completed, and spend those days in constant fear for their life because he's under a constant threat from other prisoners who will assume his guilt and seek prison justice against him. These women don't care that the man will have to spend tens, more likely hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees trying to defend themselves. It's why they dismiss the physical, mental, and emotional toll it takes, not just on the man, but his entire family. They think it's, again, no big deal. Just get over it. Though the reality is, for the men that are accused, they never do. I could go on, but I can sum it all up by saying these women just don't care. Period. To them, as this woman showed, none of those things matter. It's all just a game. A game that if they get caught, he can just walk away from. Except he can't. His life, his reputation, his everything is ruined. Not just now, but forevermore. He will never get it back. There will always be those who will assume he's guilty. Guilty because she said so. You know, the whole believe all women. Gentlemen, you need to understand this. You need to stop kidding yourselves. You need to go watch the podcast episodes that I've done with men who've had their lives forever destroyed by women like this who've made false allegations against them. Allegations which were proven false. You need to hear them when they say, I never thought it would happen to me. I never thought she would do something like this. And you also need to understand that much like they want to claim it's all men, we men need to assume it's all women, especially the ones we know, the ones we work with, the ones we're dating or married to. Because while there are a lot of false allegations made by women against strangers, men they don't know, the reality is they're far more likely to make them against men they do know. Even men they claim to have loved at one time. Even men they are currently married to or who are the father of their children. The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, those are the ones who are most dangerous of all. Don't believe me? Go spend a day in family court and watch case after case where women allege things in order to get the upper hand, and where judges assume she's telling the truth. With no supporting evidence, they will slap that man with a restraining order, throw him out of the house, and block him from any and all access to his children, simply because of her word, her claims, her allegations. Truth, justice, your rights, your presumption of innocence are immaterial. It's her and her beliefs that matter, and only her and her beliefs. All she has to do is say the 5 magic words, I am afraid of him, and you'll lose it all and more. Look, I know this isn't fun to hear. I know it sounds extreme, but that is the risk we face as men, all day, every day. The fact is, every man, every single one that I've ever interviewed, and that number's in the hundreds, who has faced a false allegation was completely blindsided by it. They never saw it coming. They assumed they were safe when they were anything but. Ask yourselves, gentlemen, do I want to ignore the realities? Do I want to believe it'll never happen to me? Do I want to take the risk of losing my reputation, my career, my freedom for potentially decades to come because I don't want to believe it could happen to me? Or do you want to pay attention? Pay attention to these women who have no problem destroying you simply because they can, simply because they want to get payback based on their fears, their assumptions, and their mindset. They are out there, gentlemen, like it or not. And these women, as I said earlier, are dangerous. Very dangerous to you, to all of us. And I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot more of them out there than you may realize. Remember, though, it only takes one, just one, for you to lose everything. So protect yourselves, gentlemen, because in the end, it's all women until it's no women.